Oh man, I just missed the last bus and I'm going to be late for my meeting. My heart is beating so fast. I hate this feeling.
Take a breath, Mike. We have all been there. But the most important thing is knowing how to apologize for being late in English so you don't ruin your professional reputation.
You're right. I'm stressed, but I need to handle this. In today's podcast, we're going to help everyone who is running behind schedule.
Exactly. We're going to discuss why lateness happens and, most importantly, give you the perfect phrases to stay calm and professional when you're not on time. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Context English podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Mike, the man who is, hopefully, only 2 minutes late for this recording.
Don't worry, Mike. I was just about to start. Today, our focus is how to apologize for being late in English.
It is a big problem for many of us. Being late makes us feel guilty, but it doesn't have to be a disaster.
By the end of this episode, you will know exactly what to say to your boss, your friends, or even your doctor when you are late.
But being late isn't just about missing buses, is it, Anna? I know you had a very stressful morning last week, too.
You know, Mike, your running for the bus moment reminds me of something that happened to me last Tuesday. I had a very important doctor's appointment at 10 a.m.
Doctor's appointments are the worst for being late. If you're 5 minutes late, they sometimes cancel your visit.
Exactly. And I am usually a very punctual person. But that morning, everything went wrong. First, I couldn't find my car keys. I spent 10 minutes looking for them. I looked in my bag, on the table, even in the fridge.
The fridge? Were you trying to keep your keys cold?
I was just in a panic. When I finally found them, they were under a magazine on the sofa. I ran to my car, but then the traffic was just standing still. There was an accident on the main road. I was sitting in my car, looking at the clock. 10:05, 10:10, 10:15. I felt so bad. My hands were literally shaking on the steering wheel.
That is the worst feeling. You feel like everyone is waiting for you and they're all angry. Did you finally get there?
I did. I arrived at 10:25. I walked into the office and I felt like a naughty child. I saw the receptionist and I didn't know what to say. I just said, "Sorry, I'm late." But I felt like I needed to say more. I wanted to explain about the keys and the traffic, but my English just disappeared because I was so embarrassed.
That happens to a lot of people. When we are stressed, we forget the right words. The receptionist probably sees late people every day, but for us, it feels like a disaster.
It really does. I felt guilty for the rest of the day, but it made me realize that I need better lateness phrases for my toolkit.
It's true. We can't always be on time. Life happens. Keys get lost, buses are late, and traffic is terrible.
So when the clock is ticking and you aren't there yet, what should you do? What are the best words to use so the other person isn't angry?
Well, we have a list of 5 perfect phrases for you. But before we get to those, Anna, I want to hear about your big lateness story. The one about the job interview in London. I heard that was a real nightmare.
Oh, Mike, you really want to talk about that? Okay, it was a very big lesson for me. Let's get into the main story.
Okay, Anna, I am ready. Tell us about the job interview in London. I know how much you wanted that job, so being late must have felt like a total disaster.
It really was, Mike. It was about 5 years ago. I had an interview for a wonderful position at a design company in central London. I was so prepared. I had my best suit on, my portfolio was ready, and I left my hotel 1 hour early.
1 hour? That is plenty of time for London. What could possibly go wrong?
The London Underground. The Tube. I was on the Central Line, sitting there thinking about my answers. Suddenly, the train just stopped, right in the middle of a dark tunnel.
Oh no, that is every traveler's nightmare. Did the driver say anything?
After 10 minutes, a voice came over the speaker and said, "We are sorry, but there is a major signal failure. We will be moving as soon as possible." But as soon as possible felt like forever. I was looking at my watch every 30 seconds. My heart was thumping, and the worst part, because I was deep underground, I had no signal on my phone. I couldn't call the office to tell them I was late.
That is the worst part of the tube. You are trapped in a metal box, and you can't talk to the world. You must have been panicking.
I was sweating, Mike. I felt so unprofessional. When the train finally started moving and arrived at the station, I was already 15 minutes late for the interview. I ran up the stairs, out into the street, and I was literally sprinting through London.
I can just see you running in your suit. So you arrived at the office. What happened when you walked through the door?
I was 20 minutes late. I was red in the face and breathing hard. I saw the manager, a very elegant woman, waiting in the reception area. I felt like crying, but I remembered what we always say, be honest and be direct.
Exactly. So what did you say? Did you make up a crazy story about a cat or a lost bag?
No, I looked at her and said, I am so sorry I am late. I was stuck on the central line for 30 minutes with no phone signal. I am very embarrassed, and I truly value your time.
That is a perfect apology. It explains the problem, but it doesn't sound like a cheap excuse. How did she react?
She actually smiled. She said, Anna, I live in London. I know the central line is terrible today. Thank you for coming anyway. Let's sit down and start.
Wow, so being honest saved you. Did you get the job?
I did. She told me later that she liked how I handled the stress. She said that in business, things go wrong all the time. She wanted to see how I react when I'm under pressure.
That is a great lesson. Sometimes the way you apologize is more important than the mistake itself. It shows your character.
Exactly. I learned that you should never hide or tell lies. Just explain the situation clearly and say you're sorry. People are usually much more understanding than we think.
I love that. Clarity is better than a perfect excuse. Anna, what is the very first phrase our listeners should have in their toolkit? That is such a positive ending to a scary story, Anna. It really shows that the right words can change everything. So let's build that mistake toolkit for our listeners. Here are 5 essential phrases for when you are running late.
Well, it is the most important one. It is simple, but it works every time. I'm sorry I'm late.
I'm sorry I'm late. One more time.
I'm sorry I'm late. Don't try to be too clever. Just start with this. For example, I'm sorry I'm late. The meeting took longer than I expected.
Phrase number 2 is for when you are still on your way. It helps the other person plan their time. It is, I'll be there in 10 minutes.
I'll be there in 10 minutes. Let's hear it again.
I'll be there in 10 minutes. You can change 10 to 5 or 15, but always give an estimate. For example, I just got off the bus. I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Phrase number 3 is the classic excuse, but sometimes it is the truth. It is, the traffic was terrible.
The traffic was terrible. Once more.
The traffic was terrible. Use this when the roads are blocked or the bus is slow. For example, I left on time, but the traffic was terrible this morning.
Phrase number 4 is a bit more professional. It's for when something unexpected happens at work or home. It is, something came up at the last minute.
Something came up at the last minute. Again?
Something came up at the last minute. This is great because you don't have to give too many personal details. For example, I'm so sorry I'm late. Something came up at the last minute at the office.
And finally, phrase number 5. This is my favorite because it changes the mood. Instead of saying sorry again, you say, thank you for waiting for me.
Thank you for waiting for me. Let's hear it one last time.
Thank you for waiting for me. This makes the other person feel appreciated. For example, I know I'm late, so thank you for waiting for me. I really appreciate it.
5 powerful phrases. I'm sorry I'm late. I'll be there in 10 minutes. The traffic was terrible. Something came up. And thank you for waiting. Now, let's see them in action.
Now, let's hear these phrases in a real-life scene. Imagine Mike and I are meeting for coffee to talk about a new project. I have been sitting in the cafe for 15 minutes. Mike is just arriving.
Listen for the phrases. Where is he? My coffee is already cold. Sound of a door opening and fast footsteps.
Anna. Oh, Anna, I am so sorry I'm late. I feel terrible.
Hi, Mike. I was starting to worry. I've been here since 2 o'clock. What happened?
I left my house early, but something came up at the last minute. My neighbor had an emergency with his dog, and I had to help him. Then, when I finally got in my car, the traffic was terrible because of the rain.
Oh, I see. Well, at least you are here now. I didn't see your message until a minute ago.
I know, I'm sorry. I sent a text saying, I'll be there in 10 minutes, but I think the signal in the parking garage was bad. Anyway, thank you for waiting for me. I really appreciate your patience.
It's okay, Mike. I understand. Life happens. And thank you for the apology. Now, let's forget about the clock and talk about our project. Do you want a fresh coffee?
Yes, please. That would be great. My treat.
Okay, I won't say no to that. Now, let's listen to the key parts again.
I'm sorry I'm late. Something came up at the last minute. The traffic was terrible. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Thank you for waiting for me.
Well, Mike, I think I feel much better now. Talking about being late is like a therapy session.
It really is. I feel much lighter. But seriously, everyone, the most important thing we talked about today is that your words matter. A good apology can save a meeting, a friendship, or even a job.
Exactly. Today, we learned how to be honest about our mistakes and how to thank people for their time. It is not just about the grammar, it's about showing respect to the person waiting for you.
So here's your one simple, actionable tip for this week. If you realize you're going to be even 5 minutes late, send the text message immediately. Don't wait until you arrive. Just say, I'm running 5 minutes late, see you soon. It takes 10 seconds to write, but it saves a lot of stress for the other person.
That is great advice, Mike. And remember, don't be too hard on yourself. We're all humans, not clocks. Even the best of us have central line days sometimes where everything goes wrong.
They certainly do. You're doing a great job learning this language, so don't let one late arrival stop your progress. Just apologize, use your new phrases, and keep going.
Thank you so much for listening to the Context English podcast today. We know your time is very valuable, and we are so happy you chose to spend it with us.
We really are. But now we want to hear from you. What is your most common excuse for being late? Is it the traffic? Is it your alarm clock? Or maybe it's your cat? Tell us your funniest stories in the comments below. We promise to read them all.
And if you found these phrases helpful, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps our community grow and helps other English learners find us too.
Take care of yourselves, stay positive, and maybe, just maybe, try to leave 5 minutes early tomorrow.
Good luck with that, Mike. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye for now.
Bye.